this preview, you will learn how to create REST web services with Virtual DataPort. We will review how to publish, deploy, and invoke a view as a REST web service. Virtual DataPort can publish any view as a web service to enable external applications to retrieve data from the server. This is an alternative to using the JDBC or ODBC interfaces. In Virtual DataPort, there are two types of web services: SOAP web services and REST web services. Virtual DataPort REST web services are a resource-oriented HTTP services that provide 4 different representations of the data: HTML, XML, JSON, and RSS. These web services can be deployed in the Node embedded web service container. In addition, a WAR file can be generated and used to deploy the web service in an external J2EE application server container. We will now create a web service using the Virtual DataPort admin tool. There are 3 options for creating a new REST web service. Navigate to File, New Data Service, REST Web Service, or select a view, right-click to open the menu, New Data Service, REST Web Service, or edit a view, click on Publish REST Web Service. The second and third option will add the selected view as a resource of the new web service. The REST Web Service wizard has 4 tabs: Resources, Settings, Advanced, and Metadata. The Resources tab lists the views and associations published by the web service. The Resource tab permits add new resources, drag a view from the elements tree to the dialog. A resource already added can also be removed by using the drag option. Renaming the web service, click on the name and type the new name. Web services can only be renamed upon creation. The name cannot be edited at a later point. Renaming a field of the web service, click on a field's name and type the new name, or right-click on the field and click Rename. Also, if the web service has a lot of fields, it is possible to search for one. Right-click and choose Find, and the field will be highlighted. Other configurable parameters are set as mandatory. With this option, the clients consuming the web service will have to provide a value for this field. This behavior can be removed with the option Set as optional. Remove from input. With this option, the clients consuming the web service will not be able to filter the results by this field, so this field will be not searchable. Remove from output. With this option, the field will not appear in the web service results. The Setting tab manages the configuration of the REST web service. In this tab, the following options can be configured. HTML escaped fields identifies fields that are not to be HTML escaped. RSS mappings can be added. First, select the RSS option as an available representation. Then, click the RSS mappings option and select the correspondence between the fields of the view and the fields of the RSS representation. XSLT transformations can be configured. These transform requests or responses to the requirements of existing REST XML clients. Click on the XSLT transformation option to add the input and output transformations. This first option only applies to the resource selected, but there are more options that apply to the entire web service. By default, the XSLT transformations are applied to the data but not to the error messages returned by the web service. To apply them to error messages, select the Apply Output XSLT to Error Messages option. Select the available representation type of the data. There are 4 options: HTML, XML, JSON, and RSS. In addition, the default representation type is configured by the Set the Default Representation option. By default, REST Web Services return several links within the data of a view. For example, each row of a view has a link that points to the row itself. To remove these links from the web service, clear the checkbox Display RESTful links. The HTML representation of the web service can be modified by customizing the default CSS document. The next option, Custom XML Namespace, configures the namespace of the XML representation. Finally, protect access to the REST web service by configuring its authentication method. The available options are HTTP Basic HTTP authentication with the credential passed as plain text. HTTP Basic with LDAP, basic HTTP authentication using an LDAP server. To configure this authentication method, select the LDAP data source representing the server used for authenticating users, the user pattern, and the accepted users. HTTP Basic with BDP, basic HTTP authentication using the credential of the Virtual DataPort users. And HTTP Digest, HTTP Digest authentication with the credential encrypted. Now that we've reviewed REST web services, there is a lab to create your own. The recipe slide contains more information about this exercise and expected results. To learn more about Virtual DataPort REST web services, sign up for our Advanced Data Virtualization Developer Training course. To retrieve more information about General Denodo training, visit our website.